Take a look around you. From the laptop on your desk to the car in your driveway, almost all the items you own reached you by traveling inside a standardized steel box. Before these boxes existed, global trade was incredibly labor-intensive. Goods were packed individually into barrels, crates, and sacks, which meant loading a single ship could take weeks. This bulk method was slow, expensive, and left cargo constantly vulnerable to theft or damage. Containerization solved that problem. By moving goods in identical, stackable units, ports processed cargo with surgical precision, dropping loading times from weeks to hours. This speed is possible because of standardization. Because every container shares the exact same dimensions and locking points, a crane can lift a box off a ship and lock it directly onto a train car or a truck chassis. There is no need to unpack the contents until they reach their final destination. This mechanical alignment across ships, rails, and roads is the foundation of modern commerce. It allows the global supply chain to move a volume of goods that would have been physically impossible under the old system. We focus on the billions of dollars of electronics inside these containers, but we rarely think about the vulnerability of the boxes themselves. This map shows where the world's shipping containers are actually built. Right now, China controls a massive 95 to 96% of global container manufacturing, leaving the rest of the world dependent on a single source. That dependency became a crisis during the COVID-19 pandemic. When China's industrial hubs locked down, the global production of new containers stopped almost instantly. While consumer demand stayed high, there simply weren't enough empty boxes available to move the products. This shortage sent shipping costs to record highs, proving that even if you have the goods, you can't trade without the box. What was once seen as a boring metal commodity is now recognized as a point of national economic security. The pandemic exposed how easily a single manufacturing bottleneck can stall the global economy. If it's just a steel box, why can't other nations simply start their own assembly lines? The first obstacle is the material. Containers require a specialized, weather-resistant metal called Corten steel. It's designed to survive years of exposure to saltwater and harsh sunlight without corroding. China has spent decades building a localized ecosystem for this production. Their steel mills, paint manufacturers, and component suppliers are often located in the same industrial clusters, which maximizes efficiency and keeps transit costs low. On top of that, the Chinese government provides significant support through direct subsidies, tax incentives, and low-cost land. These policies drive production costs down to a level that makes it difficult for unsubsidized competitors to survive. By integrating every step of the process, from the raw steel to the final coat of paint, China has built a manufacturing wall that is extremely expensive for any other nation to climb. Recognizing the risk of total dependency, India has begun a strategic push to manufacture its own shipping containers. It is a defensive move intended to protect their own export economy from future supply shocks. But local factories can't survive on government incentives alone. For an Indian container industry to be viable, it needs large-scale, consistent orders from the world's biggest shipping lines. That's where Maersk comes in. As one of the largest logistics operators on the planet, Maersk was looking for ways to diversify its own equipment sourcing and reduce its reliance on a single manufacturing hub. Maersk recently partnered with Indian manufacturers, placing an initial order for 1,000 made-in-India containers. While 1,000 boxes is a small fraction of the global total, the order serves as a proof of concept. It demonstrates that India's manufacturing can meet the rigorous international standards required for global trade. However, it's important to ground these developments in reality. India is not in a position to displace China's dominance in the near term. The economic gap remains wide. An Indian-made container costs up to twice as much as a Chinese one. India must still import raw Corten steel and specialized hardware, adding massive costs that Chinese producers avoid through their fully integrated domestic supply chain. Despite this cost, The shift is part of a broader strategy known as China Plus One. Global companies are increasingly willing to pay a premium for a reliable backup manufacturing source, viewing the extra expense as an insurance policy against future supply chain lockdowns. India's goal isn't to win a price war overnight. It's to build enough domestic capacity to ensure that a single failure point can no longer hold the entire global supply chain hostage.